What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 37. We start today's stuff on the back of our win over Brighton. 3 straight wins in all competitions for the Toffees, as you've been here for Dwight McNeil, turned down from Bologna directly after January transfer window shut. And on the back of the win over Brighton, we would advance through to the Spurs game and see our fixture to draw for the FA Cup last 16, which pits us against Coventry City right now in the Championship away at the Ricoh Arena. So second time in a row we'll have a Championship side after knocking out Spurs in the FA Cup third round. And no doubt about it, golden chance to reach the last 8. And once again, another possibility that this year we could reach Wembley for the third time in 3 years. It's basically becoming our second home at this point. Still, first game of this episode, Antonio Conte Spurs in Everton, taking them on at Goodison Park, obviously on the back of the win over Brighton. We came from behind to win it. Now taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Heading into this game, massive one. I mean, you've seen the league table. You saw it at the back end of the last episode. I always show it at the back end of the episode as we close one out. It is so tight right now. It really is. It's anyone's guess as to who's finished in the top 4. And if we're going to make it, we've got to pull out results in these sort of games. I would have been totally satisfied with a goalless draw. We were coming towards the end of the game, still tied at 0-0. Wasn't really under much pressure. Very little going on, if I'm being totally honest with you here. But instead, it was Daichi Kamada who came up with a game winner for Spurs in stoppage time. This is such a frustrating goal to concede as well, because you know those games where the AI get one chance and they score it and then that's that. This was one of those games. Admittedly, I didn't play very well. I only really had the one chance myself through Romelu Lukaku in the first half, but Spurs practically nothing all game long, you know, and that was one of those games where, I hate to say it, but it kind of summed up this season. I'll show you the top scoring charts there, with Lukaku top of the scoring charts right now. If Lukaku doesn't score, there's a strong chance we don't win. You know, it's 17 goals all season long, my top scorer this year. If he doesn't get me a goal, the chances are we're probably not going to win. In the Premier League, I should say. And that was one of those games where it rung true there. He got the only chance of the game, good save in the end, and then Kamada popped up with the game winner. So frustrating, 1-0 loss to Spurs there, and the undefeated run comes to win as they get a revenge after we knocked them out in the FA Cup third round. But following game, another big one, this time away in London, taking on Chelsea. Graham Potter's side in West London at the Bridge. Once again, massive game for both teams. Desperate to get into the Champions League for next season. Again, not too much going on in this game. It's 63 minutes in, worked the ball from right to left and back into the middle, and with 27 minutes on the clock, deadlocked at 0-0. Again, didn't really get many chances in this one. The only one I got fell here to the former Chelsea midfielder, Conor Gallagher. Third goal of the season for Gallagher. Hasn't really been that good for me this season, I'll be totally honest here, but he's still a top prospect in the 17th. Third of the year, and we take the lead over Graham Potter's side. So again, massive game here. And I said in that Spurs game, we need results in these games here. If we want to take out the top 6, we need to take out the top 6. Quite literally, we need to beat them. And 72 minutes in, oh, why didn't I put my laces through the ball with Big Rom here? Yeah, golden chance for Lukaku to extend his lead at the top of the scoring charts here. Why did I go with finesse? Really poor decision. Should have smashed it across Mendy's body in the end. Went for the finesse. Easy save for the Senegalese shot stopper. And in stoppage time, I paid the price. One final chance for Chelsea. And wearing the captain's armband, it's the former Bayer Leverkusen man who pops up with a leveller. Kai Havertz equalised for Chelsea at the death. And these are the sort of results where you look back on come the end of the season, you think, this is why you didn't get top 4. This is why you fell short right at the end, because that is so frustrating. That is 4 points dropped, or no, I suppose 3 points dropped. Hang on, 1, 2, I can't do maths. Basically, a win and a draw. Yeah, so surely 4 points dropped, right? Well, a win and a draw dropped right at the end against Spurs and Chelsea. 2 teams in the Big 6, and that right there is so frustrating. The results slipped through my fingers right there. In the end, got 1 point from 6, when again, I should have had 4. Frustrating. Really frustrating indeed. What's even more frustrating is seeing the draw for the Europa League last 16, and as you'll see, 12 games to go in the Premier League. Look at how tight it is right now, man. Crazy. 2 points separating 3rd to 7th. Liverpool, Chelsea, City, us and Spurs. I mean, even West Ham and Aston Villa, you can't really rule them out right now, though. They are the rank outsiders, but still, 5 teams right now going for those 2 spots in the top 4. The top 2 won't be caught, I don't think. I think the top 2 are going to remain away for the rest of the season, but we got Arsenal in the Europa League last 16. Tough draw there against the Gunners, leading the league both in the game and in real life as well, taking on Mikel Arteta's side. Look, I mean, you know, we definitely have a chance, no doubt about it. We'll definitely be underdogs, and especially because, you know, recently our form has been inconsistent, to say the very least. And this year we've really struggled against the big teams as well. So following the game against Chelsea, the 1-1 draw there where the win slipped through our fingers in stoppage time. Now taking on Liverpool in the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. Third game against a traditional Big Six team here, but back at Goodison. Haven't beaten Liverpool in the entire save so far. Ever since I became an Everton manager, haven't beaten Liverpool yet. Still yet to taste a victory in a Merseyside derby, and 5 minutes in, it wasn't going to happen in this one either. Frankie de Jong, the former Barcelona and Ajax midfielder, gives Liverpool the lead, and I was thinking, forget it. Like, forget it. I just can't beat these guys. I really, really can't. Jurgen Klopp's side take the very early lead, and we fall behind in the first 5 minutes. 90 minutes in, no chance to respond. Kefren Turan trying his luck for just side the area, flashing wide the post. It was still 1-0. To be fair, our heads could have dropped when we went 1 goal down so early. When you concede to your rivals, who are admittedly a stronger team than you, when you concede early, your head can really, really drop early. Or you can respond. One of the two things can happen. In the end, it turned out to be the latter. Turan fired wide earlier, but 12 minutes afterwards, Big Rom, who missed a great chance to double the lead against Chelsea, that would have seen us get the 3 points, makes amends here in his first Merseyside derby goal since returning to Everton. Makes it 1-1, back on level terms, and then 37 minutes in, a great chance on the break from a corner. Hudson-Odoi turns Benicia. He's away from his man. He's going to outpace Gabriel. And he chips it across to Lukaku, 6 yards out, who simply couldn't miss, and said, yes, I know, a couple of goals by the game. Should have scored a dagger against Chelsea, but this is what I can do. Big Rom turns the game on its head and shows why we spent so much money on him from Chelsea in the summer. I said it before and I'll say it again. I really do believe the one place in his entire career where Lukaku has been truly loved since leaving Anderlecht, Everton Football Club. I'd love to see him back there in real life. I really, really would. So he turns the game on its head. It's 2-1 Toffees, but unfortunately our lead would not last long. Right before the break, the Reds would peg us back. Darwin Núñez, the Uruguayan, fires home from just inside the area for his 13th of the year, makes it 2-2, and then 48 minutes in, what was a brilliant topsy-turvy Merseyside derby, one for the ages here, a couple of golden chances, Hudson-Odoi denied by Alisson, and Lukaku so close to his hat-trick there, heading over onto the roof of the net. So still 2-2. With 18 minutes to go though, I was thinking, right, stick or twist? Do I hold on to the point and leave things as it is right now and make sure we don't throw away a late goal like in the last 2 games, or do I go for the winner? Well, late on in the game, you know the old saying, fortune favours the brave, and it definitely did. Steffi Maverdini comes up with the late game winner. And for the first time in my tenure as Everton manager, get in! I've beaten Liverpool and I've won a Merseyside derby, an absolute thriller. They took the lead, we levelled, we took the lead, they levelled, and then right at the end, I knew there was going to be a late goal. I just didn't know who it was going to be for. Based on the last 2 games, you would have put your money on Liverpool, but finally, 3rd time's a charm. This time, we give the AI a taste of their own medicine and pop up with a late goal. Maybe not as late as the goals against Chelsea and Spurs, but even so, Steffi Maverdini wraps up a lovely move and gives us the game winner. And finally, like the 7th or 8th time of asking, I've got to win in a Merseyside derby. Man, I'm buzzing with that, seriously. When Liverpool took the early lead in the first 5 minutes, I was thinking, oh God, here we go again. I just can't beat them, man. Every time Liverpool face us, it's a banker for Jurgen Klopp's side. Fortunately, this time, we come from behind to win it. And there it is, my first win in a Merseyside derby as Everton manager. Thank the Lord for that, seriously. So, following game, after back to winning ways here, Wednesday night, travelling to the Ricoh Arena, taking on Championship side Coventry City right now in the relegation zone in the 2nd tier. So for them, they've got 2 things on their mind right now, staying in the Championship and trying to get to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Which is more important to them? Well, we would find out what was more important to us as well. Reaching the FA Cup quarterfinal or trying to stay in the top 4? Well, you would have seen my lineup. Yes, a few changes out there, but still a few starters as well, including Callum Hudson-Odoi, who this season has just been absolutely phenomenal for me. Scores the opening goal of the game, and then Steffi Maverdini, 8 minutes after the restart, makes it 2. Yep, 2 of my regular starters getting starts on Wednesday night. I wasn't going to leave it to chance. I talked about it in the last episode. You see this year, and in this FIFA year, I should say, I take the FA Cup a lot more seriously than in previous FIFAs, and in this game I was taking no chances. Two wingers, Husnadoi and Mavididi, two starters, got my opening two goals, and then Steffi bags a brace, and his third in two as well. This is why we turned down the bid from Borussia Dortmund. Steffi Mavididi this season, he's having his best year in an Everton shirt. He's really come good for me this season, including the game winner against Liverpool and the brace here against Coventry. Final score, Coventry City 0, Everton 3. The Sky Blues knocked out by the Toffees. We're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup in a game where I didn't play especially well, but got the job done. A bit of a controlled performance, if you will, in this one. And there we go, we are through to the last 8, and a big shock as well. MK Dons went to the Etihad and dumped out Guardiola's side 2-0. How about that? Middlesbrough also pulling off a cup set as well. But to make it through to the last 8, hoping to get ourselves to Wembley for the 3rd time in 3 years after an FA Cup semi-final in Season 1 and a League Cup final last year. Well, we're 90 minutes away from getting to Wembley again, but if we are going to get there, we'll have to take out in the FA Cup quarter-final. MK Dons? No, it's Middlesbrough. It is another Football League side, but it's not MK Dons, the lowest ranked side. It's Middlesbrough away at the Riverside Stadium. So once again, going to a championship team. Having a good season though this year in the playoffs right now, so tough game there, but what a chance to reach Wembley for the 3rd time in 3 years. With 11 games to go, cutting the gap on Man City to goal difference on the back of the win against Liverpool. It is still incredibly tight in the race for a top 4 place, which is my dream, getting Everton into the Champions League. But that will end this episode of the Realistic Career, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Most love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode very soon.